So, hi everyone, my name is Marco, and I'm here with Morgante Pell, founder of Grit. Morgante, thank you for taking the time to join us here today and talk. You just finished your presentation, or should I say your talk here at the Shift conference. How was it, and how are you enjoying the conference so far?
It's great to be here. The talk went great. It's an awesome, intimate venue. I love where we are, and of course, love the Miami weather.
And this is your first time here at Shift conference, right?
Yeah, first time at Shift anywhere.
Yeah, we have to bring you to the conference in Europe. So, what does Grid do? How does it basically use AI to automate the tedious software developers' task?
Yeah, so Grit is an AI agent that can go into code bases and work on generating changes, specifically around code modernization. So looking at old code bases that need some upgrades, need some love, or code migration, where you're trying to move to a new platform. So if you're trying to move from Google Cloud to AWS, Grit can do that for you.
Nice. And how are developers using AI today? How would you basically say that they're using AI as opposed to like a couple of years ago?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, it was basically code completion, right? So we had Copilot was the first major developer tool that was using AI, and this is basically just editing. As you're editing your IDE, it's going to complete, a few sentences, or it's going to complete a one word. But now people have agents that can actually go and generate entire files or generate entire projects for you autonomously, and they've really taken off in the last 6 months, I'd say, where you have lots of people who are vibe coding entire applications.
How do you see them using AI in, let's say, like the next 2 years? I know that the whole industry is moving way too fast, but like, let's just gonna try to limit ourselves to that period. I guess it's going to evolve a bit more, right?
Yeah, and it's taking off exponentially. One of the things that really hasn't been solved is how do you have multiple agents working for you? So right now you have lots of developers that they work with one agent at a time, where they're asking an agent to make some changes, reviewing those changes, going asking the agent to tweak it, and this works really well. You can move really fast. You can make one feature in 15 minutes that might have taken 5 hours before. But I think the future is actually you won't have just one agent working for you. You'll have 15 or 50 working with you, and how do you review and supervise all of them, right? So developers can be moving from engineers just editing code to really supervisors managing these large teams of agents. And there's a lot of work to be done to make that happen, but it's exciting work.
It's a huge jump to a more managerial role. So basically, how do you see that role of software developer evolving in a couple of years? I know you just touched a bit just a second ago onto that matter, but like, how do you see it actually evolving? Are we going to basically have developers like in the next 5 years, 10 years, or are there just going to be managers who kind of try to optimize the workflow and who are kind of in charge of the whole developer?
Definitely it's going to be more developers going to be more of a managerial kind of role. It's ironic for engineers who got into it because they didn't want to manage anyone, they didn't want to communicate. Communication is going to be super important as it already is today, but even more important. But I don't think developers are going to disappear. That technical knowledge and excellence of what you're actually doing, that continues to matter, right? When an agent goes off track, or when you're talking to a customer and trying to figure out like what the agent can do and trying to scope things out, that knowledge of what's possible, that continues to matter. So really, I think we're just on developers who have that background expertise and learn to be agent managers. And I'll say, as a engineer, I got into coding because I love building things, right? And I love building things, whether it's me writing the code by scratch or asking an agent to write it for me. And that's not going to go away. People who like to build, it's the best time to build today.
And they're basically builders, yeah.
Yeah.
So talking about like builders and engineers who are kind of out there to build tools and solve problems, some of them are basically thinking of, okay, now is basically the perfect time to become a dev tool startup founder. In your opinion, what does it take to launch and grow a successful dev tool startup?
Yeah. First, I want to emphasize it really does take technical excellence. There's a lot of people out there who say, you can just vibe code something, or you can just build an MVP.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Not for developers, right? Developers are very picky customers, right? They think they can build it themselves, right? So if you're going to build something that you want developers to actually pay and use, you actually have to have a pretty high bar for product quality. So making sure you actually are a great engineer, that's step one to building a great dev tool. And then step two is really just think about distribution, right? How are you going to get people to market it, right? Understanding developer marketing, understanding developer influence. Certainly as an engineer, I never learned about that until I still wanted to be a startup founder, and understanding that is really important. How do you get in them?
And what would be like? This is the last question. Like, what would be some of your advices for startup founders? So basically, who are like in this dev tool space, who are kind of looking to either attract investment or maybe get acquired. Like, what are some of the things they should be thinking about when it comes to the exiting or let's say investing and exiting part of the story? Because most of the founders just go into it for the sake of I want to build something, right? But there's like the business part of it. So like, what would be your suggestion to them to kind of look for the end game?
Yeah, and whether you're trying to attract customers or investment or an acquirer, it's all sales, right? You're trying to sell this company to somebody, and the core of sales is great storytelling, right? And I think every great story has a hero, and in a startup, that hero should be the startup. So figuring out what is unique about your startup, what's your story, what makes you different than everyone else in the competition, that can get everyone really excited about you and just be able to tell that unique story.
Thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you.
Thank you.